Hey guys, it's DC and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary where all soap lovers are welcome. This is my Sanctuary Reflections where it's about life lessons learned from soaps. Today's video is titled, You Have to Be Able to Serve Yourself. I was originally going to title this, The Perfect Timing Doesn't Exist, but I was like, you have to be able to serve yourself. I was playing basketball earlier and I was like, I think that's more of a perfect title. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a soap reference today to link this lesson to, but y'all gonna stay with me anyways. You know, I was thinking today while I was playing basketball, playing some b-ball, you know, healthy mind is a healthy body, because I had some crazy dreams last night, y'all, but it was because I ate hot Cheetos to bed, and that's not even like me, okay? But I realized in life you have to be able to serve yourself. You know, I was thinking to myself about how the profession I'm going into, and it's all about serving others and all this other stuff, and I kind of realized, like, you really can't serve other people unless you can first serve yourself. And I remember I was talking to a doctor the other day, and they were just like, oh, I was telling them how, like, I only wanted to work around a certain amount of clients upon graduation as a regular basis when I graduate. And they're like, yeah, but the problem with that is, like, so many people need mental health services. And, like, if so many therapists are doing that, how are people going to be able to be served? And I just stayed quiet, but in my mind, I'm like, I have to be able to serve myself first. In my mind, I'm like, I'd rather be able to even just serve 2 people well and give a good transformation with that than try to serve 30 to 50 and you only get 5% out of me. How's that gonna help? You know? But I understand it was meant from good intentions. Nothing wrong was meant from that. Because I remember back when I was a CNA, and you know, that was years ago. And of course it was like, oh, you gotta do this job from your heart, etc., etc. And yes, that's true. But how can I be able to do something with my heart on a regular basis when my heart is breaking? Right? I remember working those places and those facilities. People couldn't pay their rent. Some people had eviction notice on their door. Some people's phones were being turned off. But we had to come into work with a smile on our face. And it's just, I'm a firm believer, if you take care of your staff, you take care of your employees, they'll take care of the job that you set out to pay them to do. Now, granted, people's money management skills to the side, because yes, some people mismanage money, all that other stuff, and mentalities, and abundance mentalities, and scarcity mentalities. Let's put that to the side for a moment. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the facts of the people who do have the good money management skills, but they're going through some stuff. And it was hard that we were meant to show up all the time for people, give them this lap of luxury, serve them, yet we can't even serve ourselves. And our lives doesn't even allow us the capacity to do that. That's why when I see jobs and they'll be like, oh, like mandatory overtime, must have a good attitude. You know those kind of jobs you see on Indeed with all those laundry lists of requirements. And it's like, yeah, F that. Anything for me at this point in my time in my life that does not allow me to have a balance into it is not for me. I'm sorry, no ifs, ands, or buts. I cannot even be able to properly serve or take care of somebody if I can't first take care of myself. It's not possible. And I remember working in those facilities and trying to help 30 people at once. It was just too much. After all, I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of this shit. This is not gonna work. You know, some of you guys don't even know this about me, but years ago, I used to be very heavily involved in ministry. I was practically a preacher. I was preaching at that time, you know, it was years ago. And I was in multiple ministries through the years. And most of the times I can tell you that most of those pastors or spiritual leaders at the times were always saying like, oh, you know, I don't want you to get comfortable because, you know, got to serve the people and blah. And they would always preach about balance and all those things, but it seemed like the only person who was living that balance was them. I didn't see anybody else living it. You know, maybe because we didn't know how to advocate for ourselves. I don't think they meant it with like a negative thing. I think they really wanted to help people. And you know, but I remember times I would see my mental health breaking down. And I was like, I can't do this. And I don't think that they didn't care, but they were looking out for them, doing their thing, as I should have been doing for myself. And it was like, how do I serve with people and I can't even serve myself? I remember there were times I would be going to church, I would be serving, I would, you know, all that stuff, smiling. My rent was unpaid, eviction notices on my door, stuff like that. Like real stuff that I was dealing with. Could barely take care of my own mental health. I was struggling in the process. But yet, show up and serve. How the hell does that work? This is why I don't really pay attention to the news, but I keep hearing this thing about job shortages. People don't want to work. It's not that people don't want to work. People are tired of being disrespected. People are tired of showing up to work with a smiling face and they can't pay their $8,000 a month of rent that's been hijacked by all these landlords. And if you're a landlord, don't take this personally. It's on here about people saying, let's go flip a house and, you know, make some money. People are going to have to live in that. You realize that, right? You realize some people are going to have to live in that thing, right? And they have to try to find a way to pay you, right? you gotta make your profit, understand that, but make it reasonable, you know? Don't try to take advantage of people, you know? So it's just like, I always think about that. So whenever I hear messages of people saying, you gotta serve, you gotta serve. Some people care about money, you gotta serve. But there has to be a balance. I need to be able to take care of myself first, and then I can do right by other people. There's a reason why when you're on an airplane, they always say the mother has to secure her mask first before the child. So even in this program that I'm in grad school, I'm loving it. But I realize there's so many things I advocate for myself. Like, I remember, you know, we got sent a sheet before class started about like all the different things that get started before we, you know, the program starts, orientation. Financial aid was at the last of the list. And I was like, no, sir. That to me was number one. Because if I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to be here. And that's keeping it real. So it might be number 9 priority for other people, but for me, it's number 1. And I had to realize, hey, all the people in this university, faculty, staff, they've gotten their degrees, they're good. Megan good. Well, not Megan good, but they're good. I don't have that yet. And I have to remember those things. And I have to remember what is in my capacity, what I can handle. You know, I have to remember that. I'm a less is more type of person now. I think about my capacity. You know, I have a volunteering thing that I do that's mental health related, and I do the minimum amount of hours for that every week. I'm not maxing myself out. Yes, there are people who are in need, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm not then putting myself in need too as a result. Yeah, there's that too. I'd rather do my minimum hours and be able to have maximum output on that instead of maxing myself out and then get the minimum from me. Does that make sense? So I understand people, they've got their plans, but I'm making my plans too. I have to also do what's right for me. And that's how I can show up the best that I can. So when I hear these messages and stuff like that, I have to continually remind myself, remember the balance. Because there's some people who are hearing these messages and that's all they hear. They don't hear the other aspect of it. Like I said, I was in ministry for years. It was great. And I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at those ministries. No, but I had to take a step back. I was like, yo, I'm here all these days a week doing all this, doing that. And some ministries, I think towards the end, I started taking a step back. And some of them like, oh, but you're barely doing anything, which I wasn't. But before then, ministries before them, I was doing so much. I felt burnt out. I felt taxed out. And I was like, yo, like, I need to finish my school. I want to be able to have a career for myself. I want to be able to provide for myself. You know what I'm saying? Some real talk. So you have to be able to serve yourself in life first so you can serve other people. Because granted, here's the thing. The problem is people take one part of the message and they forget the rest. Oh, I got to do about me and me. Yes. In a sense, you got to take care of yourself. So then you can also be able to share and do right by other people. That's how that works. This is why people go in relationships. They're like, oh, I want somebody who's going to do this and come into my life and do da-da-da-da-da-da. But then they never talk about how they want to be able to fit into someone else's life. It's a two-way street, papa. It's a two-way street. When people talk like that and they say, nobody understands my life. That's because you don't give nobody room to understand your life. It's all about you. There's a balance. So I'm all about taking care of myself, but it's just so that puts me in a better position to be able to help people. It's crazy if I don't do that. So I'm very mindful of those messages. This is why, like, even when I'm not me being in grad school, I'm about balance. I'm not going to make my whole life about school. I'm a holistic being. I still spend time with my family. I still spend time with loved ones. I'm a holistic being. I already understood that before I got into this. And that's why nobody can gaslight like me. Nobody can pressure me. And I don't feel bad about nothing. Nobody can make me feel bad about anything. And I think the world is changing now because they realize people want balance. People want balance now. And if it's not going to give them balance, they're not about it. People don't want to be maxed out and burnt out. I'm not doing that. I don't care if people have a perception about me. They think I'm lazy. I don't care. I don't care. It's okay. There's some employers down the line, they may feel like, oh, I want someone who's going to go above and beyond. What does that mean? I have maybe just a different definition of above and beyond. If you want me to max myself out and burn myself out, and that's going above and beyond for you, I'm not the guy for you, papa. Or mama, if it's a woman. I'm not the guy for you. I don't believe in that type of stuff. I don't. I do believe in helping people and serving people, but not at the expense of myself. No, papa. I don't believe in that. And I think that's why things are changing. And I'm happy now I'm going to grad school with this kind of mentality. I remember when I was in undergrad, I was involved in every organization. Here, I was there. Oh my God, I got to make sure I have these things on my resume so I can do a good job. That didn't do shit for me. And I don't believe in flinging myself here, flinging myself there, flinging myself everywhere. No, just put yourself in one good space. one good space. When you market to everyone, you market to nobody. Remember that. That's how life is. So put yourself in one good space. Don't max yourself out. You got to be able to serve yourself first. You got to be able to serve yourself. How am I gonna? How could I help people empower themselves and all that type of stuff and be authentic, and I'm not even do that damn shit for myself? Does that make any damn sense? And I know when people say these messages about certain people, that's probably not what they have in mind. But because the other half of it is not being said, that's just sometimes how it comes off. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I was like, yo, like, I've got to do right by myself. I'm not gonna overwork myself. I mean, I work part-time now as a voiceover artist, guys. I could be doing jobs in grad school that are mental health related. I choose not to right now, especially not my first semester. I'm working as a voiceover artist part-time. That's good enough for me. It's low stress. And I'm doing what's gonna work for me. It's like, you know Sister, when they had the opening? And even though I'm glad to be with ya, I gotta do what's right for me. Like you got to do what's right for you. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, oh, oh. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, 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 oh. Sister, sister, wow. Sister, sister. Oh, man, I can't believe I just did that. But you got to be able to serve yourself. You know, even with Soap Sanctuary, I remember when I first started Soap Sanctuary, I was just like, you know, through the years, like, damn, I can't do this. I can't do 5 days. Yeah, I can't do 5 days a week. Man, I'll do once in a while, and that's okay. That's what I can do. Some people can do more, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know? But I have to be able to serve myself. And like I said, I realized in grad school, a lot of things I'm still figuring out along the way. That's why originally I was going to title this video like, you know, the timing is never perfect for a lot of things. Sometimes you're just figuring out as you go along. I'm being honest with you. I'm still figuring out. You think I got this all figured out? No. It's not the perfect time, but it's the aligned time. Two different things. Two very different things. But you got to be able to serve yourself. Nobody wants to say that type of stuff. Oh, no, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about money. No, I have to be able to talk about it. No, because it matters. Yeah, I got to be able to talk about it. Yep. I remember years ago, I was at a job interview. And I told my friend, he's like, how did it go? I was like, it was pretty good. I was asking questions, you know, asked how much the pay was. My friend was like, you asked how much the pay was? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm not here for fun. And I didn't ask in the interview, like, so how much is the pay? I was like, so, how much is the pay? I'm just curious. What's wrong with me asking how much is the pay? Am I not gonna get paid? Do I not need to know how much I need to budget this job? People put a lot of shame around money. I'm not doing that. I appreciate it, though. And I know my friend, it's nervous because there's a lot of trauma in the society and the way things are. We're not supposed to ask about these things. It's supposed to be hot, top, confidential information. I have to ask. I need to know how I'm going to be able to provide myself with this job. Because I can guarantee if it's not supplying my needs, but I'm spending most of my time here, it has to make sense. You know, the way people think sometimes, it baffles me. And the people who want you to have this open heart and not see money, they're the people who are doing well financially themselves, usually. That's usually how that works. And I can't do that. I have to be able to serve myself. And this is not about money, this conversation I'm trying to say, but you have to be able to serve yourself. You have to do right by yourself. That's how that works. We are holistically healthy, balanced people. At least I am. I don't know about y'all who's listening to this. I don't know. You know? But I have to be able to serve myself. I have to look out for, like, hey, like, is this going to work for me? And it might work for somebody else. I don't know. May not, but it just might not work for me. I was looking at this one mental health job online. It was remote, and it was just like, oh, like, the clients are first priority. You guys are second priority. Something about seeing that in text. I was like, I don't know. Ooh, I don't know. Because if you do right by us, will we not do right by the people that's in your organization? Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. I get maybe the way they were trying to convey, but it didn't hit the same for me. You have to be able to serve yourself, guys. I'm not gonna make this a long message, but yeah, you gotta be able to serve yourself. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. That's how I feel personally. And that's why every time I'm looking for, like, is this gonna be good for me? I'm not a selfish person, but, like, is this gonna be good for me? Because if it's not gonna be good for me, it won't be good for you either. I promise you. I promise. You're not gonna be able to get the best parts of me. You know what I'm saying? That's why things have to make sense for us as people. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. This is why some people, when they go into jobs, like, I'm trying to see the money. Oh, I didn't hire that person. All they just care about is money. But money matters to them. How are they going to pay their bills? Now, granted, you can't go into every job for the money. I can't be a truck driver. Everybody would die on the road. I can't drive one of those big old trucks. It's not possible. Because if it was all about money, yeah, it would be. But you have to see something where you can make money, be able to serve yourself, and serve your own needs. And it's like that with everything in life. Not just about money, but everything in life. You got to be able to serve yourself. I think this is crazy sometimes. How the world just tries to go on to these kind of messages. You have to build something that serves other people, but you got to be able to serve yourself too in the process. That kind of matters. That kind of matters. So anyways, guys, that's my video for today on Self Sanctuary, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.